So today we get to play dress up with our Sony A7s and the Atomos Shogun 4K recorder monitor. We got a couple of Varavon products here. So we have the Armor 2 cage for the Sony A7s. So this is like their new design, and they have it available for a lot of different cameras. We'll take a look at that for the Sony A7s. They also sent over their T-Power battery supply for the Sony A7s, which you need because the batteries really suck on the A7s, so this is going to be something cool. And then we've got the brand new Armor Shogun cage here, or Shogun Armor, I guess it is, for the from Varavon, and that goes over the Atomos Shogun here. So we'll take a look at that as well. Anyways, let's just get to unboxing and let's see how everything comes together. Now I've done an unboxing with a Armor 2 for a Canon DSLR. And this is very similar to that, except it's been tailored for the Sony A7s. So very well packaged here. You can see that. Got your little user manual here, some instructions and parts list. So this is the main cage right over here. Comes with a leather hand strap. Varavon always has these leather hand straps here. Very comfortable stuff once you have your camera in here. Very cool. And then you've got a top handle right here, and a 15 mil carbon fiber rod, or just carbon rod. So not a lot of pieces to this cage here, but there's a lot of functionality. The hot shoe on the Sony A7s can accept an Xlr adapter, so you can get this audio adapter that mounts to the hot shoe. And so they've made the special cutout over here so that you can use that accessory and mount the accessory around the cage. They have some images about how to use that, but it's designed so you can move the handle around depending on the adapter you're using. So anyways, let's put the Sony in here. Now you do notice I have the Metabones lens adapter on here for Canon EF lenses, and I have the tripod mount attached to the Metabones adapter as well, and I can still get the entire camera into the cage and mount it up. So again, I have the Metabones adapter and the tripod mount on the Metabones adapter. I have plenty of clearance. I can get the camera in and out without even taking this apart. So a lot of room there. So it works perfectly with that. I know you guys, a lot of you guys use this Metabones adapter. The next thing we're going to take a look at is this 115 millimeter rod here. Now this can attach here on the side. And once you have it attached here on the side, this little swivel here can articulate. And so if you attach it down here, you can attach, like, say, a follow focus. Or if we swing this back, this is probably where we're going to attach our power supply. And I'll show you that once we have it set up. The rod can also attach to the top handle. Let me show you what that looks like. Well, let's do it this way, right down the middle. So once you slide the handle into the cold shoe up here, there's a lock that threads in. So that's not going to fall apart. That's a very solid mount right there. And you can move this top handle to different areas. So this single 15 mil rod can also be attached right down the middle here. And then you would tighten up a screw on the side. It's a hex screw. And then once it's attached here to the top, you can add other accessories. Sometimes you can add a follow focus up to the top here so you can pull focus, or you can add a monitor. Now, aside from that, you can attach this 15 mil rod here to the side as well. This is a perfect place for like an EVF or a monitor, or even audio recorders right here at the top. Now, to tighten it up, you do need a hex tool, but built into the top handle are the hex tools. There's one actually on this side as well. So it's a pretty clever design. There's some really strong magnets here at the top handle. It drops down and then it slides into the side. Same with this one over here. So that, you know, you'll always have your hex tool here, and that's how you would tighten up either this 15 mil clamp here or this 15 mil clamp here. Okay, so a quick tour of the cage. You do have a dovetail up here for the cold shoe, another cold shoe mount up here at the top as well. You've got threads up here. You got about 5 1/4-inch threads here at the top. You also have a number of 1/4-inch threads all at the top of the cage, on the side of the cage. There are some 3/8 on the side as well. You do have your hand strap, all of your audio and HDMI locks here on the side. You have full access to the camera also, and a number of threaded mounts here underneath, so you can attach this cage to all types of rigs. You have obviously access to your battery over here, and we're going to use the T-power supply in a second so we can see how that kind of hooks up with this cage. But that's kind of a quick tour. Very nice cage, very lightweight cage, custom fit. Once again, if this top handle is in the way of your audio port when you're using the audio adapter, you can just move this over to the side and then you can attach your audio adapter here. So that's how they designed it. There's the T-power. Really nice battery pack. It has an 8.4 volt in, 7.4 or 12 volt out. And you can use a switch here to switch between 7 and 12 volt. And then as you press this little button here, it'll tell you the status on LEDs, whether it's full or not. Now this is the full kit. So not only do you get the battery here, but you get the dummy battery for the Sony A7s. So this kit here is specific for the A7s. We also have a mount for the battery. There you go. Comes with a little 1/4 screw here. And this battery will fit in here. And then you just clamp this down. And then you have a 15 mil clamp here, so you can attach it to your rig, and we'll do that in a second. We've got the battery charger here, so we can recharge this battery pack. And this, again, is the Sony A7s battery, dummy battery. So there you go. So this will plug in here. And then you have a little cable that goes in between this dummy battery, and then this cable goes in between here. So let's set that up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach this rod back here. We're going to attach this battery pack right here on the side. Get the dummy battery into the Sony. And then we would have this cable here plug into the battery and the 7.4, and then we turn the switch on to 7.4 here. There's also an on button here, and it's a little recessed, so this battery won't accidentally turn on if you just throw it in your bag. So you got to get in here, hold this button down. If you press it once very quickly, it's just to check the battery status. If you hold it down, it will actually turn on a red light here, and then the battery is actually sending voltage out. Then we'll turn our camera on, and then if I hit the menu here, I don't know if you could see that, but we have power to our camera, and this is going to run for hours and hours and hours, several times longer than your stock A7s battery. And it's very small, very compact, very clean and slim. This battery should pretty much last you all day. And we have this screw over here because we can also mount this a different way if you don't want to mount it to the rod. So what we could do here is we'll take this off, and then on the clamp here there's also a shoe mount, so you could put it to a cold shoe, and then there's a thread mount underneath the cold shoe, so you can mount it using a male thread as well. But for now, let's throw this battery up here at the top. There you go. So we've added the battery up here at the top. We can mount it a number of different ways if you don't want to have it on the side of your cage here. So let's actually build up the Shogun, and then we'll take a look at how that cage works out. All right, so inside of the Armor Shogun cage here, we've got a user manual again, parts list, and we have the Shogun armor cage right over here. You notice here we have a connection for the XLR and the DC input, and over on this side here we have some locks for the HDMI. So we'll attach an HDMI cable here. We'll see what that looks like. Now, This is an optional bracket that you can get for the Varavon Shogun armor cage. And this bracket attaches to the back side of this cage, and it's to protect the battery and also the solid state drive, pretty much the back side of the Atomos Shogun. So I'll show you what that looks like after we have the Shogun inside the cage. So to put this in, we have two screws, one here at the top and one here at the bottom. And you'll notice that right here at each corner, it just kind of overlaps the monitor just a little bit. And that will probably keep it from shifting around. But very nice fit. You still have access to solid state drive, as well as access to slide in the battery. We've got a Sony battery, and it just slides in here. So once the cage is installed, you still have full access to everything that you need, your solid state drive, your battery over here, and then full access to the screen. So let's attach the accessories that come with the Shogun, see if everything lines up here. First thing we're going to plug in is just an HDMI cable. So we'll put that on the input here. And then to lock it down, you just tighten up these thumb knobs over here. That's pretty much it. So we've got our HDMI locked into the Varavon Shogun cage here. And then, so that works out really well. So another option for the Shogun is the Xlr adapter here for audio. So that would slide through here. Okay. So you can see how that will prevent you from bumping into that connection and accidentally messing up this cable. You still can reach in here and disconnect this. There you go. So you could still get in there and disconnect it if you had to. And then finally, not many people will use this, but the DC adapter here. You still have full access to the DC adapter connection over here. All right, so now to show you what those optional brackets do here. Varavon sells these optional brackets, and they come folded like this. And you would take out this one screw here, open this up, put the screw back in, and that will actually lock it in place. And you can see more of this on their website. Now the bracket can be mounted either this way or even this way, depending on what your setup is. We have a very large battery here, so we can mount it this way. And basically, you have two rows of threads over here where this can mount up. And once we have this bracket mounted up, it'll protect the battery from getting knocked around, so it doesn't accidentally disconnect the battery, and that could obviously ruin your footage. So you would take this, screw it on over here. Now there are two screws that come with each bracket, so we would take the other screw here and we would mount both screws to the top, and that will prevent it from twisting. All right, so we have two screws here so it doesn't pivot, and it will lock it in place. So I'm not going to run it all the way down, but you kind of get an idea. We could slide this forward and back as close as we want so that we're covering the battery and we won't get an accidental disconnection from the battery. The same thing can be done here with the solid state drive. If you want to try and protect that, you can get a second bracket, and that second bracket can be attached here right behind the solid state drive as well. And remember, you can do it the long ways, or you can rotate the L bracket and put it this way, and we can line this up so it's closer to the solid state drive, and that'll protect it from getting damaged as well. So that's what these brackets are, and they're optional for the cage here. So now that we have this set up, let me get a couple of accessories and mount this over to this cage, and then we'll see what the whole thing looks like. All right, after kind of fiddling around a little bit, figuring out the way I want to set it up, I decided on mounting the Shogun on top of the top handle here, right on this cold shoe adapter that is provided with the armor cage here for the Sony A7s. And then you see I have the 15mm rod coming off the back here, and then the T-Power, the Varavon battery here on the back, and powers up the Sony. It's going to run like all day. So that's it. This is a very small but very powerful system. We've got 4K recording over here. We've got S-Log coming out of the Sony A7s. We've got all-day power right from this very clean, very simple, thin, lightweight battery pack over here from Varavon. So really nice stuff. If you guys want to check out more of the equipment, remember this is the armor cage for the Shogun by Varavon. We've got the T-Power. This is a battery pack. Now, the battery will work with a number of different cameras. You just got to get the right adapter. This kit here was designed specifically for the Sony A7s and comes with the dummy adapter. And then we have the Armor 2 series cage for the Sony A7s. Now, this cage is available in other models as well. So it's going to be shaped a little bit different, but it'll have some of the same features like 3 15mm rod clamps built in. It'll come with a carbon rod and come with the top handle with the hex keys built in, HDMI locks, and leather handle. There are some other options that you can get to build up on this cage, like a 15mm rod adapter that can go underneath, and some other things. So take a look at that. An ENG hand grip is pretty cool, and they sell that as well. So for more information about all this stuff, check it out on Varavon's site, varavon.com, or look at my blog. I'll have a write-up on this equipment over here, cheesycam.com.